I have a confession to make. Very sad truth. Finding Nemo is the only Pixar movie I've never seen in theaters. Not because I didn't want to, or because I didn't want to see it. I did a lot. I saw it at a friend's house who had illegally downloaded it. Yes, I've done that. Now, if you know me, I don't even sneak outside candy into a theater. So this was not something that I'm proud of. The worst part of all is how good it turned out. And I felt I didn't give these creators my money for making such a wonderful product. So you could darn well sure when Finding Dory came to theaters, I'm like, I'm going to see it, I'm going to give them their hard-earned money, and it doesn't matter if it's good or not, they're going to get it. Fortunately, it was great. It's lazy time and we're gonna do a review. Yes, we're gonna review a black and white movies and comics too. Let's all watch Hello everybody, I'm LaserDude99. This is another movie review, and it is time to review Finding Dory. And you know the future generations are going to get Finding Dory and Finding Nemo mixed up. It's like, oh, remember that one scene in Finding Nemo? Or wasn't that Finding Dory? Oh, I meant to say Finding Dory. Oh, it wasn't Finding... I don't know, it's just all similar. Fish. Actually, that's not true. These movies are not really similar. In a way, but not really. Anyway, let's just go over the basic story. Dory one day gets some of her memories back. Her memories of her family. She remembers them, and she remembers what they were and how they raised her. And a little bit, just a little bit, but enough that she's determined that she's going to find her family and she's going to reunite with them. Marlin's a little bit like, whoa. You know, we just crossed the ocean a year ago, because apparently it was a year between Finding Nemo and Finding Dory. I mean, like, the rest of us had to wait 13 years, but they get to wait only one. Lucky ducks. Anyway, so Marlin, Nemo, and Dory all go on the quest to find Dory's family. And along the way they run into a new batch of colorful characters that just make the movie a fun ride. So let me just start by saying that when I heard that they were making Finding Dory, I was like, oh no. Yeah, that was my first reaction. Mostly because, in my mind, Finding Nemo was such a great standalone story. It had a beginning, it had an end, there was no more story to tell with that. And I think I was right. There was no more story to tell with Marlin as the main character. But with Dory, there was still one story left to tell. Where was her family? I'll admit, this was kind of one of these things where I'm just like, does she not remember her family? She kind of brings them up once in Finding Nemo, where she's like, oh, it runs in my family. At least I think it does. Where are they? And then she thinks for a second, then she's like, can I help you? That's the only time we ever bring it up. And so it was an interesting thing. I was like, I wonder where Dory's family is. And so they decide to answer that question. And you know what? I was a little leery to see where they were going to go with this. I was a little hesitant, but I wasn't like over the moon, like, oh great, another Finding Nemo movie. I was a little hesitant. I was like, I don't know exactly what this movie is going to be, so I'm just going to wait and see if it's anything of merit. And this was great. This was a lot of fun. The humor is so fast, it just hits over and over and over. It goes boom, 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 boom. And it's just really fun. The characters are all likable. None of them are duds. They all have great moments. I always say that comic relief is not a character that is not something that can make its own story, you know? It's like, it rarely ever works. You know, Minions got their own movie, and you know what? From what I hear, the movie's pretty sucky. You gave the Penguins their own movie. From what I hear, the movie's pretty sucky. I just try to steer clear of bad movies. Dory is different. Oh, Cars 2 had made her, and wasn't that great. It wasn't awful, but it wasn't that great. But Dory is different because Dory is a character with a unique perspective. Dory has a disability that she can't remember stuff. So that is an interesting character perspective to go on with, for her to be the central focus. Now she's always fighting to remember and always fighting to overcome her disability, but in a way, look at how it's not actually a disability. It's one of these things that is just who she is, and I really like that message of the film. You know, you got people that's like, well, I'm handicapped or I have this disability, so I can't do anything, and that is not a good mindset to have. Dory has this thing where it's like, yeah, I have this problem and I have this thing, but I'm still me with this. This is part of who I am. I'm not somebody who needs to be fixed. This is who I am. The way I use this is what makes me a great person or fish. It's not just the humor that's on point, however, it is also the emotions. First of all, just want to say, Baby Dory, one of the cutest things ever. I mean, she might be funnier than Ellen DeGeneres. I'm just saying, like, the only thing that's stealing the show from Ellen DeGeneres is the younger version of herself. You know, hey, look, shells! Oh, it's so cute. Beyond that, I like how this story, it splits the characters up and puts them back together over and over again. You know, it's like, for the Finding Nemo is a straightforward story. Marlin, Dory on the journey to find Nemo. Those are the characters, and only once do they switch up who's with who. Finding Dory, it goes from Dory, Marlin, and Nemo to Dory and Hank. Oh, I haven't got to Hank yet. I'll get to him in a sec. And from, Marlin and Dory to, or Marlin and Nemo to, see, even I'm getting confused already. Marlin and Nemo meet up with Dory again, and then they're split, and then all the characters kind of like interchange throughout the film, and it's really interesting how it really keeps you on your toes. You're never sure where the story is going to go next, because you're never sure if they're going to stay together or separate. Hank is a cephalopod, I think is the word, but he's an octopus with a missing tentacle. We never hear where he lost that tentacle. Maybe he lost it in the carburetor. That might actually be it. Hank is a good character. He's a character that's, he's wanting just one thing that he wants from Dory. And, he's like, oh, just give me the dang tag already. But, she keeps on forgetting and she keeps on... It's really hard to keep track of what Dory can and cannot remember. There's some point where she's like, okay, I know what we're doing, I know what the mission is, but then, you leave her alone for a bit and then she's like, I don't remember anything. It's interesting to see the way and the ways that she gets to remember things. Like the song "Just Keep Swimming" is actually a way that her parents used to help her remember stuff. Stuff with shells. Anyway, Hank is well-voiced, he's funny, he's hilarious. He's also a little bit of a more selfish character. He's kind of like Gil in that way, except he's a little less of a father figure or something. He's just a guy that's trying to get one thing done, and Dory keeps on, saying, well, okay, I just need this done, this done. And, Dory's not helpless. Her energy really kind of annoys him because she keeps on repeating herself and she keeps on coming up with these crazy schemes that he's like, I do not want to do this. And we got these two whale characters. I forget what the other one's name is, but then there's Destiny, who has poor eyesight, and this other whale who has the best eyes ever because he has that thing on his head where he can see things sort of. They're great. Her parents are great. I really love how they are used in this scene, in this story. There's nothing a lot I can say about this film without spoiling it, so let me just give my rating already. I'm giving Finding Dory a 8 out of 10. This is a great movie. The only thing that I can really say is kind of a flaw is the speed of the pacing. Like, the beginning just takes off. There's little build-up, just... I have a family, alright, let's go! Okay, we're in the facility, boom! I mean, like, whoa, calm your jets here! Slow, but as soon as they get to this aquatic facility, it does slow down, and the pacing does level off. And this movie also answers a lot of the questions that we've kind of wondered about Dory. Where did she learn to read? Well, she learned to read because she grew up in this aquarium, and there's all these different things on human languages, and it just, lots of other fish that she was able to read, probably. I remember in my Finding Nemo review, one of the few things I said were, she's like, hey, balloons, it is a party! Actually, that's not a bad Ellen voice. I'm Ellen. No, never mind, I lost it. But anyway, I said, haha, how would Dory know what balloons are? Well, now that I know she grew up in an aquatic facility, of course you know what balloons are. There's kids with balloons all over the place. Dang it, like my one thing that I could point out in my Finding Nemo review that is a flaw, and you fix it. You flippin' fix it. Come off it. But besides the pacing in the beginning that's just really quick, as soon as they get to the aquatic facility, it levels off, the humor is hitting home all the time, the animals are great, the characters are great, the climax is great, and it's in this, Nemo way that there's no real villain of the story, and that's interesting, Sometimes villains can really make your film interesting, but Finding Nemo is not or Finding Dory, the Finding Fish franchise. Ooh, Finding Fish franchise. Trademark LaserDude99. The Finding Fish franchise, they don't need a villain. They need obstacles in their way, but they don't ever really need an antagonist coming after them. I really think if they put an antagonist, it would have cheapened the whole experience and it wouldn't have made it any good. I can't wait to see this movie again because, probably not right away. I want to wait a little bit. But it's just like, I can barely remember half of the hilarious jokes that I laughed about in this. And since I am in the spoiler part of the review, the scene where Dory meets her parents again, I mean, that scene where her parents see her, and they're carrying those shells, is just like, wow. I mean, I didn't cry, but it takes like a lot to get me to cry at a movie. Surprisingly, I cry a lot of movies on the rewatch when I watch it another time. I don't know if it's just the feels hit me then. Oh, feels. I'm saying feels. I tried not to say the word feels, because it's such a, I don't know. I found out that I'm technically a millennial, and I'm not too happy about that. Anywho, the emotion is really great. I love the scene where Dory's alone, and she's just like trying to work through her forgetfulness, and she's like, okay, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And she's just like, first she's panicking, and she has to calm herself down and work her way through her forgetfulness. And it's so nice, it's so nice that you have a character here's a character with anybody with a disability or a handicap can relate to and say, okay, here she is, she has something that's different to everybody else, but that doesn't mean she's broken. That doesn't mean she's not a full person. She's just a different type of person than everybody else. She has bad memory, but because of that, it makes her such an interesting person. Marlon says how, Dory sometimes she just thinks and she doesn't think, she just does. And that is a trait that he, wishes that he could take on. And that is something that, she has that we wouldn't have. The people who have to think through everything. That's me. I'm that type of person. I relate to Marlon. She has this ability to just do things, and maybe it's the right decision, maybe it's the wrong decision, but she's able to go into it wholeheartedly. Now, if you ask me which ones of these is a better film, Finding Nemo. Yeah, I think Finding Nemo just has the better pacing. I think Finding Nemo's just an overall better film because its pacing is like pitch perfect from beginning, the build up, the tragedy at the beginning, the relatableness of the characters through the middle, the tragedy of Nemo being taken, and just how Dory relates to Marlin. It's just perfect. I think that Finding Dory is very good, though. I don't know where I put it on my. One of these days, I'm gonna rank all the Pixar movies and rank them, but if they stop making them for a second, maybe I do that. But yeah, I don't know what else to say, guys. Finding Dory was great. It's fun for the whole family. It has a lot of great characters, a lot of great new characters. It's just a fun film with lots and lots to see. Great animation. I didn't even talk on that yet. The animation of this film is just as beautiful. It's not more so than Finding Nemo. Maybe the colors hit me a little bit more in Finding Nemo because, it was the first time I saw them, where now this is... It's still great, There's still like this scene where you see the ocean... the open ocean, or the open lotion, or something, whatever. That's great. There's the ongoing joke with Sigourney Weaver. I'm just rambling now. Either way, all the way, I enjoyed Finding Dory immensely. I'm glad that they made this movie. I'm glad that it wasn't another Finding Nemo as thing. Like, there's a relatability, to be sure. It's not the son and the father learning to move on in their relationship in different ways. The father learning to let go and the son learning to take responsibility for himself. It's not that type of story. It's a different type of story that I really, really think is going to hit hard with audiences. And, you know, it's so funny. It's because I went to see this movie yesterday, actually. But I wasn't able to see it because it was sold out. I went too late. Half hours too late. And nobody told me that it was sold out. I could just see all the kids with their parents crying that they weren't going to get into the theater. And I heard one lady say, they weren't even alive when the first movie came out. What would they know what this means to us? I'm like, dang, lady. They're kids. I mean, there's such things as DVDs. You know, just because they didn't see it in theaters doesn't mean they didn't grow up with this. I know my nephews love it. I can't wait to hear what they thought of this film, because it's funny, it's adventurous, it's touching, it brings you on the edge of tears, if not 2 tears. It's heartwarming, and it's really inspirational how this character doesn't let something that other people should say should get her down. She doesn't let it get her down, and she works through it. She accepts it as just part of who she is. So, I've already given my ratings, so thanks for watching, everybody. That's my review on Finding Dory. Wonderful, wonderful, and the short at the beginning, super cute. Super, super cute. That's all I have to really say. It's just a fun movie. Enjoyed it. Thumbs up. 8 out of 10 is what I said. So, thanks for watching, everybody. Adios. Be sure to check out more of my other videos on my channel, and wait for more coming soon. Oh, and Pixar, if you ever want the money for that pirated copy of your movie that I saw, send me a bill, because I'll pay for it. Or I could just see Finding Dory again. I'm okay with that.